Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of What Drives You. This is actually kind of a special edition. With me, as always, is my friend and co-host, Carl Bauer. What's up, Carl?
I'm excited about this one. I got a hot potato for you, so fire away.
Well, like I said, this is sort of a special What Drives You. For those of you who are watchers of our little channel here, most of the time we have people who have been successful, and there's always different definitions of success, but what drives you to whatever. But I've had a pretty frustrating week. And Carl and I were talking, and I said, we should do an episode of What Drives You Crazy. And I have gone out and talked to a lot of my friends and asked them that question. What drives you crazy? But Carl, you and I are just going to start with a couple of things that drive us crazy. Would you like to, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start.
All
And
right. Carl,
little
oh,
back,
go ahead.
little background too, because I think this will be, I think, for a future episode, because you did actually do some good interviews. You got some good topics. We kind of
Right.
were bouncing lists off each other. But my hot potato for this one is whew, fresh off the freaking presses, and it is does drive me crazy. And I am sure anyone who works remote or works on a computer or works with cybersecurity, wink, wink, hint, hint, has this issue. So here's what
All right.
happened.
Carl, let me set you up.
Okay,
Carl
fire away.
Bauer, what drives you crazy?
Stan, here's what drives me crazy this week. We have, for the last year or so, we've been testing our company uh, employees with emails that are suspicious, suspect, anything. But it's our own cybersecurity team, and I agree with it. Sending us emails that could be spam, phishing, uh, problematic, right? So I was doing a good job
So
looking at them. Click,
your own security team is sending you fake ones to see how if you'll take the bait or not. Am I getting that straight?
yes, hence the
Okay.
phishing analogy. They're just checking it. They're throwing bait out there, see if you'll click on it and see if you'll get in trouble. Did pretty good on that. I did get one error, and then you got to go through a remedial class, like going to cyber jail a little bit, but nothing dramatic. You watch videos, you kind of go through a little quiz, and you get to pass, and then you're back. Good. Well, because I have learned the hard way through this experience, I said I'm never clicking on any one of these ever again. But I'm also not going to mark them as phishing, right? Because really what they're trying to do is send you the bait, have you check it, and then say, thank you for sharing. We're learning from all your stuff. And then the actual bad ones that do get through, and you do tag them, we learn from that. And you learn there's a whole bunch of background. You learn from the IP address, from all this other stuff. And then our cybersecurity team gets smarter, better, faster, stronger, whatever. But what happened to me this week was I got to this point where I didn't click on enough of them at all, so that I got put back in the bucket of cybersecurity saying, you have now failed and not clicked on enough, or not warned us about enough. So now you're back in jail.
All right, I got a
Ah,
couple questions.
okay.
Couple questions. So, are they sending multiples of these like on a weekly basis, daily basis? Because when I was with my old company, we'd get one maybe every other month or something like that.
They said that the exact, well, close to the exact words were, you missed too many this month.
Okay, so what you didn't do, you didn't click on them, which is the worst thing you could do,
Correct.
but you also didn't report to them that this was suspect.
Correct.
And
But
so
I
now
knew they were
you're in jail.
I knew they were suspect because obviously I didn't click on them as bait, right?
Yeah,
So, that drives me crazy.
it's a pretty good one.
And I took my class, so I'm back in good graces. So now I got to take the time. And here, the frustrating thing again, I agree with this. It's all good learning, especially for new people. But we get so many other emails, and we do actually have a job to do. That for me to now take the time and read them, make sure the URL is correct, make sure they're not suspect, click it, market fish. It's just another thing that I got to add to my day, which isn't the end of the world. I'm not breaking rocks or slinging concrete. So, but just drive me crazy.
All right. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, I want to share mine from this recent week, and then maybe if we have time, we can talk about a couple of the others when I was interviewing different people about what drives them crazy. But what drives me? Oh, well, you want to ask me a question, Carl?
Sure. Stan Windhorn from What Drives You Crazy?
Thank you for asking, Carl. What drives me crazy? So I had a couple of different instances. So one of them is I have a couple of prescriptions, and they ran out. Now, these are ones that I take on a regular basis. Most important one is the one for my heartburn. Been taking it for a number of years. And it ran out. The pharmacy gets a hold of the doctor, and the doctor says, I gotta come in and see him. That's part one of what drives me crazy. He knows I need this prescription, but he's got to get his pound of flesh. In other words, I got to go in there and pay him some money so he can come in and go, oh, how are things going? Ah, how's that working for you? Great. Well, we'll re-up it again. BMW payment, cha-ching, right? That part drives me crazy too. But here's the part that really gets me is when I went in there to make the appointment, I'm like, is there any way I can just give you the money? And come on, this is ridiculous. No, doctor has to see you. Okay, so I make an appointment for 4:15. I show up at, 4:10, a little bit before my appointment because I'm respectful to appointments. And the lady up front goes, oh, the doctor's running 30 to 45 minutes late, behind. So now I got to sit there in that damn waiting room waiting for this guy to come out and say, is everything going okay? Great. Cha-ching, BMW payment, right? Why making it? What's the point of making an appointment if they're not going to hold up their end? And listen, I know doctors are important, but my time is important too. What I want to do, Carl, is I want to send them a bill for an hour of my time that they've wasted. And the other thing I asked them, I said, hey, by the way, what phone number do you have for me? They rattle off my phone number. I'm like, oh, so you do have my phone number. Why in the world, if you knew he was 45 minutes late, why didn't you call me or text me beforehand? Drove me
That is
nuts.
frustrating, very frustrating. And I don't want to fire you up anymore, but Stan, what if there was some little old lady that he was resuscitating on the side of the road?
Carl, that's her problem, not mine. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. So there's a life and death possible situation. I seriously doubt it. Um, so I had something going on with my truck, and the engine light kept coming on. So I took it into my buddy Richard, who usually can fix anything, and we were stumped. We couldn't figure out exactly. We had a good idea, but we couldn't find where this little sensor is supposed to go. Blah 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 blah. I go over to another friend of his who is a Toyota expert. That's all they do is work on Toyotas and Lexuses. And this was last week, I think, on Tuesday. And he goes, yeah, you got to bring it in. And I said, he goes, but we're really backed up right now. We wouldn't be able to get to it for a little bit. I'm like, okay. He goes, I suggest you make an appointment. Perfect. Let's make an appointment. So I had an appointment for 8 o'clock yesterday. So I get up, I go there. I have a very good friend of mine, Courtney. Thank you, Courtney, who takes time out of her day to come pick me up so I could drop her off at her office. And then I was using her vehicle waiting for this to do. So this is 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm on time. I need to pick her up again at 1:30 because she has to take her kids to a doctor's appointment. I wonder if that appointment was on time. Anyway, um, I called at about, quarter to one, and I said, hey, I'm just checking up. I got to coordinate these rides. And the guy says to me, oh, we haven't even got you in there yet, and there's two vehicles in front of you. So, okay, then why did you schedule me for an appointment at 8 o'clock if they're not even going to get me in until later that afternoon, or it could have possibly been tomorrow? It went all the way to the wire. They close at 6. I picked it up at 6:05. Um, but just this
Did,
setting appointments and not keeping it drives me crazy, Carl.
did they have your phone number, Stan?
They did have my phone number. I had to communicate with them. They weren't communicating with me. That drives me crazy too.
But it's pretty amazing when they need you to pay a bill or need you to adjust your time schedule, how communicative they can be. Isn't it pretty amazing?
Isn't that true? I thought you were going to counterpoint that one too, like you did with the little old lady dying on the side of the road counterpoint.
No, no, I did yesterday I did have a counterpoint, but you
What
warned
if
me
the
not.
little old lady who was dying on the side of the road was having that problem because her car needed to get fixed real quick so she could.
Exactly,
Gee,
exactly.
you always got to look at the other side of things.
Well, no, it is very frustrating, especially when you the doctor thing. I think we've all been through the doctor thing and the dentist thing and the car repair thing. Yeah, all those things are things that they can drive you crazy. And the technology is there to just text me, "Hey, running late. Don't if you haven't left yet." Just even if you had left and they warned you on
Yeah,
either of those examples, you'd been like, "Oh, thanks for trying. All right, I'll sit around, whatever."
that's a great point, Carl. It's really about communication because we can all run late. I'm like this if, let's just say I'm going to have a date or something like that. And if they're running late, I don't get upset about that as long as they communicate. So sorry, stuck in traffic. I'm going to be 10 minutes late. No problem at all. So, you know what? I think you just hit on something. It wasn't the fact that these people schedule useless appointments, it's that they don't communicate about what's going on. Mm.
Yes,
You,
yes.
you
So
might be a genius, Carl.
if you have more ideas that drive you crazy, and I have a whole list that I sent to Stan, and we're going to keep compiling this because I think this could be a fun way for people to vent. When we first
Sure.
came up with this idea, Stan pitched it to me. I was like, man, we're trying to be educational, encouraging, entertaining, and maybe this is a little entertaining or frustrating, but I think it's a great way for people to vent what does drive them crazy. So go to our website, www.whatdrivesyou.co, C-O, or you can email us at whatdrivesyou2020, the numbers 2020 at gmail.com. Either one, we'd love to put some of your ideas out there, some of your frustrations. Maybe we'll even, Stan, if we can get the audio good on some of yours, we'll do a montage. People can maybe send us little selfie videos. That'd be fun to post some
Sure.
what drives you crazy out there because we all got it. We're living in a crazy world.
You know what else I think is good about this, Carl, is like when I did the interviews that you were just referring to, um, I think almost every single one of them that people had, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That kind of drives me crazy too. In fact, I think there's some universal kinds of things that maybe that's the benefit we're going to give people is you're not alone on some of these things that might drive you crazy.
Well, here's the truth to this whole thing. Do you feel better, Stanley? Do you feel better that you vented with me?
Carl, just seeing your face drives me crazy. I
Ah.
mean, makes me feel better.
Well, hey, it's a safe place to vent. It's a safe
Yep.
place. I mean, there's only a few hundred million billion people on YouTube, so we if we can be your place at no charge to vent, we're your huckleberries.
I like it. Well, do you want to go over any others right now, or are we going to call it on this one and
I
wait till
think
the
we
next
call
episode?
I think we call it on this one, and we get a little bit more structured, strategic. Get some input from others because my list is long and probably boring to some, but we'll pick out some good ones, and hopefully we'll get some feedback response from this one when we post it. Some comments in the actual YouTube episode today or tonight.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
Carl, just give everybody the email address and website one more time so they can tell us.
www.whatdrivesyou.co. That's the website. And then the email would be whatdrivesyou2020 at
All right, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Have a great evening,
Have
day.
a great day, and I hope nothing drives you crazy today.
I hope so too. Later.
See ya.